I wondered. As a child in most of my adult years, if my mother really loved me. This feeling of uncertainty originated from the first time that I felt as if my mother betrayed me. Because in spite of a lack of food, shelter, and affection, I didn't receive much of prior to this moment that I felt as if my mother betrayed me. It was nothing that she could have done to me or not given me as a child that would have made me look at her any differently than being the twinkles in my eye. Due to the fact that a young boy's love for his mother is so strong and unconditional that she can do no wrong in his eyes. However, needless to say, the year was 1988. I was exactly 10 years old at the time. Boom, 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 boom! When the LAPD banged on my mother's boyfriend's apartment door and arrested me for assault and robbery on another young boy. After receiving answers from the police to the usual questions that any mother would ask the authorities, which consist of, what did he do, where's y'all taking him, and what's going to happen to him, I was then handcuffed, placed in back of a squad car. Mama, please don't let him take me away.
You be strong for Mama, okay? You be strong, Kimani.
Help me, Mama. Please help me, Mama.
I can't, Kimani, I can't.
I'll be good, Mama.
I know, baby, I know.
Help me, Mama. Help me, please. And afterwards, driven to the police station, where I was then fingerprinted, ordered to take a mugshot, and several hours later put back into handcuffs, along with ankle shackles this time, then zoom, transported to Central Juvenile Hall in East Los Angeles. After arriving at the juvenile hall and being processed through, I inquired to an elder man who was the staff there the following. Excuse me, sir. Sir, excuse me. When I'm going home to my mommy? He said within 3 days, I was going to be released to my mother. But 3 days turned into 6 days. Still no mother came. Yet I remain optimistic as any other young boy would who loves his mother unconditionally and believes in her. It wasn't until 14 days later, after appearing in front of a judge, while still in juvenile hall, that I finally had a chance to see my mother. She sat to the left of my public defender, and I sat to his right. Not knowing the significance of this hearing or being aware that my life was about to change forever, I paid the sadness that lingered in the air, conjunction to this moment, no attention, while constantly leaning forward past my public defender, hoping to get my mother's attention while smiling to let her know that I was being strong and that I was happy to see her. Yet she stared straight forward at the judge while not even glancing my way. I could not understand what was going on at the time between this man who wore a black robe and this other man with this suit and tie on that prevented my mother from hugging and kissing me by sitting in between us. It wasn't until the public defender whispered in my ear, Mr. Randall, please sit back, to when I actually started to pay attention to what the judge was saying to my mother. I vividly recalled the judge uttering to my mother, Mrs. Sims, I'm placing your son on 6 months of probation in your care. And if Mr. Randall violates any terms of his probation, his next vacation is going to be in the juvenile camp for the next 6 months. He then continued in his dialogue by asking my mother, was she aware that she could have picked me up within 3 days after I was brought to juvenile hall? I remember my mother clearly replying,
Yes, Judge, I was aware of that. But I don't want Kimani no more. That's my son. But Kimani do not listen to me or to his stepfather. He do what he want to do. So you can take him wherever. I cannot help him. It is hard on me.
After hearing my mother, my hero, say she didn't want me anymore, I felt so betrayed and my heart broke that day, just as Hamlet's heart broke when he felt betrayed by his mother. And I too, such as Hamlet, was imprisoned by the thought of betrayal that anger once controlled my actions to the point where it drove me mad and landed me in prison as a teenager into this age of 34 that I am today. However, unlike Hamlet, no precious lives had to be taken to seize the anger that imprisoned my mind with the thought of being betrayed. Instead, I sought forgiveness through prayer and received it through God's grace for all of humanity. Then afterwards, freed my mind from the insidious thoughts of being betrayed by forgiving my mother, which in return helped me to heal my once broken heart. Because through forgiving, I was blessed to become aware of my mother's circumstances during my childhood and realized, by taking into consideration her own distraught childhood, her substance abuse, and being a victim to domestic violence, that the day she told the judge that it was hard on her and she could not help me was her way of soliciting help from the judge to place me within the system in hope to give me a better life than what her heart told her she could have gave me as a child. Therefore, for my mother being willing to subject herself to the tears that a mother sheds from the pain that a broken heart brings in regards to giving away a child to give that child a better life, proved to me that my mother has always loved me unconditionally, just as the queen loved her son Hamlet, in spite of her choice to marry King Claudius. In closing, all praises goes to God. God bless you all, and thank you.